What are your thoughts on red pill?
Look, red pill helped me a lot get out of a very unhealthy marriage.
Right.
I realized from reading Rollo Tomasi's book, The Rational Male, that I was effectively being exploited.
Yeah.
And that I had every right as a man to say, hang on, I deserve better than this. I deserve a partner who actually cares about my health, cares about my well-being, and isn't just, essentially using me for resources and security. So I think red pill definitely has its place. And I mean, I'm in touch with Rollo. I've said to him, hey man, your book changed my life. Thank you for that.
Of course.
But I think red pill will help you understand what's wrong, but it won't give you an answer as to how to fix it.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
100%. 100%.
And for me, I think anyone who puts a lot of energy into the red pill, put energy into making yourself a more capable man instead. Put energy into I mean, yes, be aware of how relationships, especially in the modern day and age, can become negative, and be aware of, toxic people. But it's not just women, toxic men. Be aware of toxic people, and be very conscious of how you set up a relationship, and being clear about what you expect from her, and clear about understanding what she expects from you, and so on. But I think at the end of the day, if you go with the traditional values, and you find a woman who also wants traditional values, and you're really focusing on being the best man that you can be, and being that patriarch who provides and protects, and not just financially. At a certain point, the finances thing isn't the issue. Giving time to the woman you care about, giving that real,
Quality
I feel
time.
something's not right in you, let's talk about it. No, everything's fine. No, really, I can feel something. What's up? And then poof, you find out there's stuff that's been sitting there for a week. Being that man who really cares about his woman. If you're on your grind, if you're on your mission, if you're mission focused with the right men around you, and you've found a woman who wants what you want from a relationship, I don't think all that red pill stuff is necessary. I think red pill is very useful if you're in a Western relationship as a man and you feel inside, hang on, I'm giving all of this, yet I don't get anything back. Sure, get across the red pill, make changes, enjoy that divorce process. It's a mess. It's not fun for anybody, but then go and create a more healthy relationship. So yeah, red pill definitely useful for men to realize they're being exploited by a system, or by an individual, or by a toxic person, as unfortunately a lot of people are nowadays. There's a lot of narcissism. There's a lot of users, a lot of takers, not givers. But I don't think it has any benefit or application for creating that positive alternative. And I think traditional values is the way. I think religion in terms of the Islamic approach, if you want that multiple woman scenario, is the way to find the positive answers to go about and create that positive relationship. I think red pill is pretty negative overall, which it needs to be. You're studying what's gone wrong, but it doesn't give you that way to fix it.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it. And I think the problem is red pill has become prescriptive. This whole like pickup culture, and like basically give your wife the impression you don't care about her because you let her do whatever. All these horrible, very un-Islamic things, by the way. These concepts are actually being pushed nowadays by red pill, and that's why it's developed this kind of black pill and MGTOW and all these things that are a little more incel-like, because it's just, some of them are just pure hatred towards women. We want nothing to do with them. Islam has nothing like that, bro. In Islam, the Prophet one of the things he said before he passed away, peace and blessing be upon him, was take care of your women, take care of your women, take care of your women. That was something that he was big on, and you saw how he took care of his wives, and you also saw how he kind of disciplined them in a way. There was a time where all of his wives were kind of giving him a difficult time, and he took 27 days or so away from all of them. But at the same time, Islam gives rights to them, that you're not allowed to neglect them. You're not allowed to basically go more than 3 months without being with them, intimately and that stuff. These things are there to protect both the man and the woman.
I like it.
And a lot of that is completely missing from the West.
And that, again, I'd ask that question for those who are following the red pill or whatever. How's that working out for you? Seriously, that's the ultimate challenge. Again, to the wokeism, the religion, the followers of the religion of wokeism. How's that working out for you? Are you fulfilled? Are you happy? And I laugh when I hear some of this red pill stuff. Yeah. She's not yours. It's just your turn.
Oh man.
Haram. I'm sorry. If you are a good man and you are taking care of a good woman, she would never dream of going on to another man. And I can say that with full authority and lived experience. Yeah. So it's. I think the people who are really believing that red pill, if the red pill is their religion, they're also missing out on the best version of themselves and the best path in terms of a lived experience. And Islam gives them guidance and answers there.
So what would you say to the person that's like, okay, I hear you, but where do I start? You know, what about Islam is, you know,
Okay, well, I'd say first of all to the MGTOW guys, if you need to take time out of dating and focus on getting your money right, your fitness right, you know, your brotherhood right, excellent. I think I wouldn't even call it MGTOW. I'd call it focusing on yourself as a man and building your capabilities. That's a very positive thing. So I'm all for that. But I'd say a man is happiest when he has a loyal, giving, caring partner next to him.
Yeah.
Because the one thing brothers can't give you is feminine healing energy.
Yeah.
And also women encourage you to enjoy life. Like women are much more aesthetic.
Yeah.
You can tell if a house is a man's only house or if there's a woman there. It's a more beautiful environment if there's a woman there. Walking along a street, you know, a man won't notice the sunset or the beautiful trees. A woman will say, "Hey, baby, look at this," and then you experience more of the beauty of life with a good woman next to you.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm answering your question there, brother, but that would be my answer to the MGTOW guys.
Yeah, that's beautifully said. I mean, even in my experience, like I alhamdulillah, you know, actually renovated a big part of my house for my wife. I literally, like, I put up walls, I put up doors. But man, when she decorated that thing, it was a whole other universe, subhanAllah.
And there's an energy behind that. When a woman has made a house into a home, it gives you that sense of, you know, I'm out in the world doing combat, dealing with, you know, business, people trying to shark me, whatever, or in my line of work, actual combat. You come home to a place that has that feminine energy, that peace, that beauty. I wouldn't buy art and put it on the wall. I don't care.
Yeah.
Whereas when you have a woman who has an eye for these things, your home becomes your sanctuary. And that's the concept of the female healing you. I really do believe that, and I've read up on this. The back in the day, the sort of optimal thing was tribes of about 150 people, as per a sociologist of some sort or a historian, and the men would go out and they'd hunt. You know, they'd fight, they'd do what men do. Then they'd come back to the camp and be around the women, and that's when they'd be in the feminine frame. You know, testosterone levels would lower. You'd be less tense. You'd get some meat back on from eating properly. You'd have intimate relations. You'd feel calm, relaxed. Then you go back out with your men again, back out, you know, beyond the wire, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if we bring that to today's sort of context, a house where you don't have a woman giving you that, okay, you can relax now. This is a safe environment.
Yeah.
There's no combat here. We're here to make you feel better, to lift you up. I think you're really missing out on a gift from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which is a good giving woman adds so much to life. It really does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me say one more thing. It's amazing because it's not just good for you. It's not just good for the man. It's good for the kids. You know,
of course.
now the kids have a good, strong, masculine dad and a loving, compassionate, empathetic mother. Literally, that's the key to success for a kid.
100%.
And if you see how important it is for a kid to have a good, strong man and a loving, compassionate mother, bro, it sometimes makes me want to cry, bro. SubhanAllah. How many kids who nowadays, you know, they're depressed, they're sad, they're upset, they don't know what they want to do in life, and they don't have father figures, you know, or their mother abandoned them, or their mother neglected them, or the mother always put what she wanted, what she believed onto them growing up, and did not care about them at all. It's a very depressing thing.
Exactly. And that's what you see with narcissism.
Yeah.
The more narcissistic a person is, the less empathetic they're going to be, the less empathy they'll show towards their child's learning and needs. And that's why I think I'm genuinely scared for future generations. And why parenting's hard, man. I mean, have you guys got kids?
Not yet.
Okay, soon, inshallah.
Soon.
But don't rush, because it's a lot of work.
Yeah, definitely.
If you can just give a kid an iPad and they're done, if you're a narcissistic person who'd rather get dopamine hits from social media, that's what you're going to do. So I think the quality of parenting is going downhill all around the world. And you see that more and more with these liberals, these progressive types, these women who have to be back in the office 6 weeks after giving birth. I think that's horrible. Why would you be pulled away from something you'd birthed, an extension of yourself as a woman, your child, so you can go back and help raise the share price for a multinational that doesn't care about you? I think it's a very unnatural way of living. I think it's really sad.
And two ways I wanted to sum up the red pill thing, even though that's like in the past now, but I've never seen a movement so obsessed with getting women to think that they don't care about them, but they're spending extraordinary amounts of time
focused on
women.
It's true.
It's like the whole don't text her back, act like you're busy, but then you're out here just laying in bed thinking about what she's doing and all this nonsense. Is she with another guy? Like, bro, this stuff is so foolish. This is number one. And then number two, the thing with red pill is, at the end of the day, it just leads you to a place where you are headed to nihilism with women. Because the things that these people on Reddit and red pill and MGTOW that they're obsessed with is just why are women like this? Why are women like that? Female nature. It's not your girl, like you said. She's just your turn. And then over time, you begin to resent women. You don't actually understand women. You don't actually care about women. And red pill game will only work on damaged women.
True.
It will only work on low quality women that you shouldn't even want in your life to begin with.
Exactly.
So you're limiting yourself to attracting only low quality women that work for this red pill game that's just trash, it's degenerate. And all the good quality Muslims that are out there, you're pushing them to the side, almost like you don't want them.
And I think adding on to that, I think any kind of pickup artistry or any game or any of that stuff, I don't think it works on quality women. I don't think it works, or if it does, it won't last. Okay, so you know how to trick a woman into getting her clothes off. You're not a man who can take care of her emotionally, physically, in terms of provisioning. All these men who want to get high quality relationships and they channel that urge into game, that's only going to work with low class women who are looking for some sort of transactional, strange. If you want a quality relationship with a woman, become a quality man. It's so simple. My advice to any young man would be, until you've got your money right and your fitness right and your career right and your perspective on life dialed in, why are you even bothering with women? Take that urge to spread your seed everywhere and put it into your hustle, put it into your fitness. Because did Freud say, I might be misquoting here, but any meaningful action is a result of taking sexual energy and transmitting it or channeling it onto non-sexual things. Yeah, I could be conflating him with another famous psychologist or commentator of some sort. But at the end of the day, yes, the fury inside a young man to have sexual relations, it's strong, it's fierce. Take that to building yourself into the best man you can be. And anyone who's born in the West especially, you have every option, every opportunity to become wealthy early. By early, I mean in your 30s. Like it's hard to build real wealth before you sort of mid-30s, I've found. Generally speaking, it's 35 onwards when you really hit your stride. That's just what I've noticed, unless you're in tech or software or NFT something, none of which I understand. But yeah, I really don't know why so many men are so fixated on physical pleasure and game and all this nonsense. If you want a quality woman or multiple quality women, you got work to do, son. Channel that energy into building who you are, not to spraying your seed into random women who you don't even care about. It's so clear.
Going back to what you said, because now you're talking about this like fire within that every young man has. So you gave the example of back then where we would be going to war, we'd be doing these things where it's like we'd be around men, we'd be around brothers. So we would just have that testosterone raging. We would come back, and then our woman, it would bring that feminine energy, that feminine essence,
healing, calming energy,
calm, right? So let's say you're married. You live in the same household with the woman, obviously. So how would you go about working at home if you had to work at home?
It's a tricky one. It really is a tricky one, because I mean, without getting too metaphysical, I really do believe men and women have different energetic frequencies. And I think if you want to live in that masculine frame and be geared for conquest, for maximum output, for maximum learning, business gains, everything, I don't think you want to be around women all the time. I mean, for me as a man, am I going to get up and train and work and hustle, or am I going to sleep in with a beautiful woman next to me who, I can share all sorts of lovely emotions? It's a tricky one, right? So what I'd say is, I think of course you can live, ideally you live with your brothers and you're like Andrew and Tristan, and they're always on their grind, sure, but I understand that's not realistic for most people. Then I think you just need to be aware of the temptation of, it's warm here and it's comfortable, why would I get up at X amount, 5 a.m. for Fajr or whatever, and you just have to hold yourself to account. Yes, I'm living around a woman. Yes, there's potential for me to slip into the feminine frame. Netflix, lots of sex. And also, when you're in a relationship with a woman who truly cares about you, you cannot satiate her with intimacy. She will always take more of your attention and more of your intimacy. There's no stop to it. So you need to be aware of the fact that while that feels good, as a man, I need to be focused on the masculine frame, which is conquest, which is output, which is building businesses, which is giving back to communities, not just, it feels nice and warm in bed here, or let's watch Netflix and just feel comfortable. I think a woman's role is to make you not just work all the time. And I know I've been in positions before I've just worked constantly and it's impacted my health. So you need that woman to bring you down, but at the same time, you need to hold yourself to account that you don't let her calm you too much so that it gets in the way of your output. For example, I'd say if you have it, for example, like the way I do, a games room / office / study, that's a man's room. Women don't come in there. That's where you do work. When you've done with your work, then you can go into the sofa and relax, or do whatever you do, sit in the backyard with your woman. But I think if you want to maintain that masculine frame, ideally you live with other men. If that's not realistic, then you have your workspace, which is purely a masculine area for you to focus on that masculine frame, on that output, on that hustle. That's how I'd manage that.
Yeah.
Probably like working outside of home, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
I mean, I think that helps too. But our offices nowadays, a masculine frame environment, I don't know. It's. I think if you really are if you're a young man and you really want to build something, live with the men you work with and just train and work and grind and don't give in to temptation. Of course, don't do drugs. I view video games as a form of drug. Avoid all of that. Don't chase women more than like one day a week or something. And just really focus on that masculine frame and being output based. I don't need to. I've had 3 cans of Red Bull, man. I'm good.
I'm good.
I mean, you need to call it, you call it. I'm good.
We've got a very special announcement. As you can see, we are here in Masjid Al-Nabawi. For all the Muslim brothers out there that are trying to level up that drip game, we have our first drop coming out soon. We have 200 pieces that are going to be released within this drop. So if that's something you're trying to do, then click the link on the screen in the description box down below to get 10% off on the drop day, which is March 31st. And make sure to check your email box so you can see if you got the message. Check your spam folder as well to see if you got the message, so that way you can be on point and be notified as soon as we release this clothing on March 31st. 5% of all proceeds are going to building a masjid in Norway, so make sure that you are checking your email so that you can confirm and be notified when we drop on March 31st. The collection is going to be called Victory in Patience in honor of Andrew and Tristan Tate for what they're going through right now. So let's make dua so that Allah releases them as soon as possible and brings them out in the best state that He can possibly bring them out in.